Now, let's create this into a chart. Clicking on Insert, then we go down to where we have Chart. So we click on Chart, and right there, it's created a chart. Of course, this chart has no data. It's empty. And the reason why is it needs to know where to point. Where is it getting its data from? Well, of course, it's getting it. You want to make it from this, right? But how do we do this? Well, remember earlier, in an earlier lesson, we talked about ranges. Now, this would be where we would want to put a range in. Our range here would start with A1, A1. So let's put that there. You see right here where it has chart editor? If we go down to data range, you click in there A1. So A1. Okay. Then remember, we're going to give a range. So now we have to go A1 to. So now 2 would be this colon. So A1 colon. And then the last part of the range should be right here in the right-hand corner of that range or box. And that would be C5. So we'd click on, we'd actually enter in C5. Okay, A1 to C5. That's the range. Okay, now let's click on this little window box there. And there we have it. A1 to C5. We click on that as OK. And there we see it. And it automatically broke it down for us. We have the totals, as you can see in the blue, and you have the averages in the red. So let's say we want to do a little adjusting here. Let's go to Customize. And you see you can adjust the chart and titles, chart style. Let's look, for example, the chart style. Okay, now here we have the border color. That's quite all right. But let's say we wanted to make this stand out a little more. We might change it to 3D. See, now that does give it a little bit better image, doesn't it? But now let's say we want to do a little further. Let's say, for example, we were to go to, say we wanted to put quantities up at the top here. You know, they can look at it and figure out that this is a little bit over 200 by the line in the back there showing 200, right? But wouldn't it be nice to have specific numbers on top of here as well? Well, that can be done easily by going to Series. So if I click on Series, and then I go down to Data Labels. All I need to do is click on that, and you'll notice here we have all the numbers for us that are put on the chart. So these are just a couple of things. It's good to play around with it a little bit and see what you can do to adjust it to make it look good. And the main thing, of course, you want it to be readable and understandable, and you don't want to overdo it at times. That can be done too. And I can tell you that by experience. It's easy to get carried away. But what most people want, most business people that you might do this for, just want to be able to understand the data. And if you can simplify it as much as possible, make it visual, that's the real reason for these charts. And just to keep in mind too that let's say once you're out of that, let's say you've clicked out of that, you no longer have the edit box available to you. You can always go into your chart, and clicking on your chart, you'll notice these three buttons or 3 little dots up at the top here, and you can click on those dots. So let's click on that, and here you can open it back up you can edit the chart, and so that would open up the box back again. Okay, I click back out of that to get out of that. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. The other thing I want to show you here too is that you can move this chart to its own sheet. You see how you have sheet 1 and sheet 2. Now in sheet 2 you do have this, and this is fine the way it is too. In fact, you could actually, if you wanted to, you could actually adjust the size of this however you want it to be in your sheet here. But let's say you want it to have its own sheet. See, then what you can do is you click on those 3 boxes and you go to move to own sheet. So let's click on that. And now you have your own sheet under this chart. You have sheet 1, sheet 2, and then you have this chart. Now you can change the name of the chart. If I double click on that, I can change it to weekly averages, weekly and averages. Okay. Another thing we can do with this, you see how it has copy chart? You can actually paste it into, say, for example, an email, or if you have a Word document, you can paste it, copy and paste it wherever you need it. You can also download this chart. If you're going to use PNG in your download, if you want to download it with a PNG format, that is very good for websites, for example, and it can hold a lot of detail. If you have detail in your image, you have also the choice of downloading it as a PDF document. That's very popular because a lot of printers like to have that in PDF form, and also that's available as an option on just about most computers. So you can send this to a client in a PDF form, and you can be pretty sure they'll be able to open it. And then, of course, there's scalable vector graphics. That's SVG. That's actually very useful in that you have unlimited scalability. In other words, you can increase the size or decrease the size without losing the detail, and that's important as well. So those are 3 different ways that it can be downloaded, and interestingly, you can actually send it to a person with all 3. In other words, if you're sending it to a printer, you may want to do that. If you're sending it to someone who's working as a designer in a website, again, you might want to send him all 3 or give him that option. But however you decide to download, one of the most popular, though, if you're going to send it to your client, is just a PDF copy, just so that they can open it up and take a look at it. This is the basic idea behind creating a chart. Once you have that, you can build on it just by getting experience with it.